watching FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. We're at Surfaces 2012, and we're in the Tarkett North America space. And I'm here with Jeff Krejsa, who's Vice President of Marketing with Tarkett North America. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Kemp?
I'm good. Good to be with you. You know, it's very interesting to come in here. You have been a fan of ours for a long time because we've known Johnsonite for a long time. Johnsonite was acquired by Tarkett. Tarkett, for many people I may not know, Tarkett is the largest resilient company in the world. And so you guys have been working on many things. One of the things I want to talk to you about here is what you're doing behind us, which is your new Mainstreet Johnsonite display.
Correct. So if you look at the commercial resilient market, which is roughly about $1 billion market in the U.S. alone, 70% of that is actually contract. 30% of that actually goes through what we consider Mainstreet. So Mainstreet would be a project that has not been specified, typically below 25,000 square feet. It's about a $300 to $400 million opportunity, good portion of that going through retail. So we developed this display behind me here to actually try to capture that market for a dealer, for a contractor who may have a showroom himself. So think of a project like a local school who's redoing the cafeteria or the teacher's lounge, or a local dentist office where they need product. They probably don't get an architect involved. They'd probably go to a local flooring dealer, or they may even go to a contractor himself. So that's what this display is for them.
And how do you get this out in distribution?
Typically through our distribution team, basically really kind of looking at the market of where this makes the most sense to place. So if you have a dealer who is actively approaching the commercial market space in their area, this display probably does a great job for them because it works in two levels. One is in store. It works as a display with actual pieces and elements of our program that they can take home. But secondly, too, the display itself has boards that represent every product and program within the full Tarkett Johnsonite portfolio. And when I say every component, that's rubber, that's linoleum, that's wall base and accessories, and for the first time as well, that's all of our products that were traditionally what we called ASRock, which are all now under the Johnsonite name too. So that's VCT, vinyl enhanced tile, and solid vinyl tile.
And you guys actually have some news in that area too, because you have a non-phthalate-free product, right?
So yes, basically one of our global initiatives for Tarkett is to try to remove phthalates from all of our vinyl products. So that's both globally in Tarkett and here in North America. So today, within North America, practically every product that's manufactured in North America under Johnsonite does not have phthalates in virgin material. Recycled content will, because it typically is coming from older materials that either potentially could have been installed as a floor or job scrap, but anything new is a non-phthalate product. So that's pretty exciting news for us, and I think it's really good in terms of coming to terms with some of the concerns in the marketplace from a sustainability perspective.
All right, so we generally talk a lot at Neocon, and you guys are very good at selling to the A&D. So this display over here gives you a great opportunity to be able to capture some businesses that you can't get through the architects. And I guess in the past, how did you display these type products with retailers?
Well, typically it would be the same type of tools that we would have for the architectural market. So it would be an architectural folder, a fan deck, a Hain set. The reality is the benefits that we have in our program, the coordination of color across all the elements of the space, are just as critical, or probably even more critical, for a dealer or for a contractor, because they don't have that background in terms of color and design, but they needed a different tool to present that to their end user, and that's where this comes in.
You guys look at flooring a little bit differently. I know some of your original executives come from other businesses other than flooring. And tell, just for our listeners, explain balanced choice one more time for me.
Well, a good question, because balanced choice for us, it really starts with the people who live, who work, who play, who heal within a space. So everything we do is oriented to make sure that that space is delivering the best return on investment for the firm, the organization who's put their dollars into that space. So when it comes to balanced choice, typically if you look at an architect or designer, they're filled with compromises every day. I'm looking for performance or maintenance, or I'm looking for sustainability, I'm looking for some type of aesthetic vision for the space, and I've got to make choices. What balanced choice is about to us is they don't have to make that choice. There is no compromise. They can set their aesthetic vision for that space, and then they can set the functional aspects and priorities for that space, and combined, because of our integrated coordinated system across rubber, across vinyl, across linoleum, and all the accessories, they can fill that space in as they envision it. You know, in some respect too, we see this as a great starting point on the residential side too. So we're taking this concept of I-Select and we're applying it to what we do on the residential side too. We're calling that whole system something we call I-Select. More to come later in the year as we develop it, but it's a really exciting approach, because if this system, if this way and methodology works well for a specifier, consider a homeowner who's never been trained as a specifier has. So we see some real value in taking this to the residential market as well.
Well, Jeff, I got to tell you, I was at Domatex just a week or so ago, and I walked into your space up there in Germany, and I love your booth because, you have these walls that say this is hospitality, this is education, this is the living room, and so you spell out, this is the way it should look based on where somebody's going to use a product, and that's part of what you're talking about, right?
Oh, absolutely, because, I think I'd even taken it a step further, because if you look at a hospital, a lot of people would look at a hospital as a single project, but for us, we look at a hospital and it's one huge initiative for somebody, but it's a series of little projects, because the emergency room is different than the operating room, that's different than the hallways or the nurse's station. So each of those are projects unto themselves with different objectives in terms of performance for a product. And so when you talk to how you position your materials and your solutions, it really always has to be with the end user's use in mind, not only specifically for is it healthcare, but is it a specific project within a healthcare.
Great, Jeff, good to talk to you again. We've been talking to Jeff Krejsa, who is the Vice President of Marketing for Tarkett, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.